Blam, blam. Blam, blam. Blam, blam. Blam, blam. Blam, blam. Blam, blam. Alright, well, as we said, we're going to go ahead and complete this hack for Huobi. And we're going to cut that animation's audio. And go ahead and complete this hack for Huobi. And we're going to cut that animation's audio. And here's the animation again. And go ahead and good enough. So what are we doing? We're creating a spot. Now, what I really want to do is have another balance variable. What we're going to do today? Hello! I can't even see your name because of the type here. Natho Wisowski. We're completing a port of a bot that I had for FTX. We're going to make it on Huobi. Now, I was given the impression that the Huobi interface would allow us to do cross-margin borrowing at 200% LTV. And we tried that, and we actually found out through the Huobi rep that eventually it only does 100% loan to value rather than 200% loan to value that actually allows to withdraw from cross margin or transfer out of cross margin. So what we're doing then is we're just using the 100% loan to value, even though that halves the effectiveness of the bot, because we still saw that there was more opportunity available through futures arbitrage on Huobi than there was on FTX. And even then, we can find we found that the pairs that they're using are much less esoteric, or like much more likely for us to be able to capitalize on at higher leverage. So we're going to try 5x leverage on these pairs. But right now, I'm just trying to build it out so that I can have a chart of the performance for us to watch after we're done coding and see if there's any major issues or problems that we're facing. So here in update positions, I really want to see Huobi futures API. Cat, I need you to not do that. Huobi futures API. And I can't see this while I'm looking at chat. What I really want to know is positions. Query assets and positions. Cat, I need you to not do that, dude. It's returning positions with profit unreal and profit rate. Profit and profit. How many of these say profit? It's a bot for trading cryptocurrencies back and forth. Basically, the idea behind it is that we want to hedge our positions. So we want to get into futures, like this one is a future for this week, and then hedge that with perpetuals. So it's basically trading Bitcoin and other kinds of Bitcoin back and forth in order for us to realize profits on what's called the futures cash and carry arbitrage. So basically, I can show you what that looks like. Is on towards the future, uh, we can find that, or we know for a fact that it's going to approach the price of the perpetual or the underlying that we have. So we have, for instance, these Bitcoin prices here. We have this swap contract, which is as close to as close to underlying as possible, and then we have all these features. So if we can use leverage, and we're going to try and use 5x leverage, which is more than we were using on FTX, it should be about double the profits anyway. We can trade this bi-quarterly contract at 11,000 Bitcoin, or $11,000 rather, per Bitcoin. So if we were to sell one of these Bitcoins here and buy one of these at 10,731, and there's a whole bunch of different ways we can do this with all these other coins. But basically, if we were to sell this one here and buy this one here, let's say we did one of each, and let's say we did it at leverage. So we did it with, let's say we had $1,000 and we did it at 10x leverage, that would be $10,000, basically almost the whole Bitcoin. We would, over the time it takes for this to converge, over the time it takes for this bi-quarterly contract to expire, we would earn that $300 by default. That's guaranteed income. The problem is there's a whole bunch of risks involved in doing that, which is why we have this script that I created already. And let's see how many lines of code it is. We're up to 1,462 lines of code here. Where was I just at? To try and manage that risk and make sure that we don't actually lose too much. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a graph that coincides with this bot so that I can see the profit and realized profit here. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I wrote an article that basically describes what this does exactly, on Medium. I'll put the link in chat. Uh, but it's, oh, I guess it's not on Medium. Maybe I made it on the other Medium. Where did I make this big? Make. Maybe I put it on my other Medium by mistake. No, I didn't. Where is this article? Maybe it's on my Substack. Whoops. Whoops. Did I write too much? All right, let's see if I can find this thing. But this is the article that you'd want to read to figure out the backstory of how it came up with this bot and how it basically works, as well as some videos and a playlist that I created on YouTube here on this YouTube account. So if I go back to my YouTube here, I can share this link with you. There you go. And in there, you'll find lots of useful information on the strategy. Like I said, there's another related article on why we're doing it on Huobi, but some of this turned out to be untrue, unfortunately. But this is where we are now. This is why we're building for Huobi. And the best part of being on Huobi is that we should be able to use higher leverage without getting liquidated. That's a gamble right now, and I wouldn't bet on that. And anything that I say, by the way, is not financial advice at all. And everything is very high risk, and only trade what you can afford to lose. And that's it. I'll also give you a link here to where the code was when I stopped updating it, when I was posting it for free on GitHub. So this is not an automated trader, but in these app files, app one, app two, story to what we're doing today. I might as well put those in the description here for everybody else that sees this later. description. Backstory. GitHub. How did you find my stream, by the way? I think there's 2 viewers in here. I think I'm one of them. I think you're the other one. Some new thoughts. How the big kids say, there we go. Whoops, I messed something up here. Yeah, exactly. You're guaranteed to realize that $300 in difference. Now, over the time it takes for those to converge, it's months, really. It would be months to do that. But the way that I set up the bot is that it prioritizes different opportunities based on how much of an opportunity they are out of the total opportunity. So the fact is that the bot will change its priorities over time and change the equity that's invested into each of these, and it'll realize that faster. Yeah, arbitrage. I mean, arbitrage is really one of my oldest loves. Like, if you go back to my GitHub here and just search, I have 150 repositories. If you just search Arb in here, it's going to come up with a whole bunch of things that I've done over the years since 2017. This is a sports betting arbitrage bot, for instance, where you bet on both sides of a match with more than one bookie. 10 hours a day you've been working on this? That's kind of fantastic. That's awesome. That's the best way to spend your downtime in this crisis, is to learn on how to do stuff like this. I was just reading those articles. Listen to me as I chat right now, but I do have to get this work done. 10 hours a day is crazy. I think that's fantastic, and I think it's fantastic that you found my stream just by searching for arbitrage. I have other streams and other videos too that you might want to look at that have to do with arbitrage, specifically futures. Oh, crypto arbitrage, yeah. Specifically features and funding. There's other ways you can arbitrage, but it's not nearly as advantageous. Like back in the day, you used to be able to do spot, like actually buying and selling the actual underlying itself, and then just transfer it among exchanges. When before Mt. Gox went bad and the prices were just different all over the place, you could just buy one there, sell one there, and then transfer the difference, and then realize your gains. One of my I should point out that one of my GitHubs specifically deals with that. A couple of them actually. This one here deals with that. These aren't decentralized exchanges, so it takes one confirmation for it to be able to be traded on the exchange. So that's assuming that you don't already have the funds in both coins on both exchanges. But the benefit of trading, one of the benefits of trading derivatives like futures and swaps or perpetuals, is that you do have both of the underlyings at the same time, and you can hedge using your collateral. So right now on Huobi is different because they want everything to be coin margined. So what we're doing on Huobi is we're borrowing using US dollar tether the amount in the coin, and then with that amount in the coin, we're going and putting that on swaps or futures, and then we're trading with that amount. And then if we notice the opportunity goes down from there, I mean, it's going to take a lot of debugging to make sure this works, because I don't even have access to the interface. I'm using somebody else's key. But what it should do is, if it notices there's less of an opportunity after a little bit of time, it should go ahead and withdraw those coins and then pay back the loan, and then borrow the other coins that were put in the trade. But it's all useless unless I have a chart. So let's figure out how to use this balance real variable that I just made. So for every position, let's make another variable, balance real 2 equals 0. So for coin and coins, do balance real 2 equals 0. Actually balance real. Actually balance. I mean, I do. I'm employed by a company that uses artificial intelligence for their bots a lot of the time. And I mean, we're heavily involved in making sure that we're going to be profitable, and we have two different revenue streams, really, a few more that are coming. So I make money regardless. Most of my money I make right now is through, because we're pre-salary, pre-launch, pre-fund. But most of the money that I make right now is just a steady stream of finance referral income and broker income that I have through these bots, a different bot really that I had created to consume the AI. But if this one works on Huobi, there's maker and taker fees. This is a maker only bot, but there's maker and taker fees on Huobi, which means that if this works the way I expect it to, I can just post the code for free. Or well, I'll probably make a squeeze page that says, "Hey, give me your email address and show me a screenshot of you signing up with my referral link," and then I will give you the bot. And I mean, the referral fees, it's a percentage of the volume, but it still could be a lot of money if it's free and available for everyone. And that's really my main goal, is to have a bot that I'm comfortable with pushing that way. If you do go through all my GitHubs, you'll find that there's a lot of them that ask you to sign up on referral links. And like, I'll show you something kind of fantastic if you're new to my stream and stuff. My Deribit referral income on this one account, this isn't even my first account, we're already logged in here. So I think 50 referees, or I've referred 50 people, and out of those, I have made a fair amount of revenues. Where's affiliate? So here, I referred 50 users, that's a whole swag of users, and I've made more than a Bitcoin in referral fees. And most of those were actually just from one user. About 0.7 or 0.8 Bitcoin came from one guy that just traded 50 million out of nowhere. 50 million notionally traded in like 6 days, and I made a Bitcoin. So as you can see, I do make a tidy amount of money. My Binance is actually, I just withdrew from it yesterday, but it had about 15 bucks in it then, and it made another 15 bucks a day. It's not that much money, but if you tally it up over the year, it is. And that's how I pay to live. But now that you're involved in this spot, you might as well give me a follow or subscribe on YouTube, by the way, because I do these streams kind of often. You can always usually find them by hack, dev, session, or whatever I'm concentrating on that day. Sometimes I do them in VR, but I'm just not feeling it today. So here what I'm doing is my balance real 2 is going to be equal to balance every time we do this update positions. My balance is my starting US dollar tether balance. I should have about 400 bucks in there right now to play with. And what we're going to do is, for every position, we're going to hope that these two, profit unreal and profit, we're going to hope those are either negative or positive based on if they're positive or negative. So balance real 2 equals balance real 2 plus pause. And hopefully that is a number. And then what we want is the profit as well. And that should give me my balance real 2, which should be the unrealized and realized profit. Because otherwise I have to track the balance of these coins across cross margin and spot and swap and futures and do stuff with them. So now what I want to do is I want to write to a JSON file. Write to JSON in Python. It's an add, not really what I want. Introduction, writing of a JSON file. Import JSON. Data append with open data.txt as our file. Huobi.json data. Anyway, this bot was profitable on FTX. I wonder what the best video is for you to see about that. I think I have one specifically for how it works as a proof of concept, which is, I'm live now twice on my channel, which is crazy. Videos. Scam, watch live. So here's the video that you should watch to see that it's a working proof of concept already. And I'll just throw that in there, as well as the description too. Working proof of concept on FTX exchange. All right, what are we doing? JSON dump. Balance. Balance real 2. Start balance. Balance real. So does it call positions or balance first? Positions, balance positions. Okay, so there's a couple moving pieces that we're going to test when we run this bot right now. First off, I have to see if my friend actually put 200 bucks in this account to match my 100 bucks that we had. Then I have to see if it counts it properly. Then I have to see if we borrow some additional funds for other opportunities. We have to see if we just hit the count if it counts everything properly. Because I made a couple changes since the last time we ran the bot. That's just useless output. Don't worry about that. That's like 5 bots ago that I made that output. There's my CCXT object that I've extended a bunch of times. So we have no balance in our swap or futures, which is what we set. Oh, there's an exception. First is reference before assignment. First. Stop typing 0. First equals false. Global. First. Balance real. Balance real. 2. Def update the positions. Global positions. Use. Balance. Real. Balance. Real. 2. And I'm a novice developer at the best of times, by the way. Oh, I wonder if you stopped watching. But my code is generally unreadable. Whoops. So we have 400 in US dollars and 80 EOS. Or EOS. We're going to try and repay some loans, which we can't do because this one's an testing a small amount of Bitcoin left over that was interest after a loan that we already paid, but we don't have any Bitcoin left over to pay it. And we're going to cycle through about 7 loans that are in this state. And actually, there's a factor that I want to get at this before we start running. Minus 36. Minus 36. We don't need this anymore. Send this to the fund to F1 H stop. And we wait. And by the way, you can buy it 10, 7, 30. Now we wait and see what happens. Ideally, we want to have balances here, which is our swaps and futures balances. And then we're going to see who's trading or getting into unhedged positions. We could actually skip a lot of this output that we know is going to be a failed output here in our deck printed section. We're delaying for 2 seconds and coming up with these errors. We have EOS on our swap. All right, so there it is. First thing we need to do Yippity dippity doo. Nice videos. Three to three sounds bad. No, that's actually okay. Only has a little there. Dim, simply fun, do quite funny. Order. Yippity-doo. Around. Hello? Hello? Yeah, I couldn't originally. I have leftovers, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. That's good. Yeah, that's fine. Love you. Bye. Well, folks, my niece is coming over to hang out, play games, and eat food, so I will shut this stream down and look for this spot sometime in the future.